Hi everyone, and welcome to Vorldrevolution channel. Today, we're diving into another amazing book, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you. This is book summary to Finding Your Element by Ken Robinson and Aronica. Let's enjoy the video. Please subscribing to my channel for more great content like this. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. Overview. Summary: Finding Your Element, How to Discover Your Talents and Passions and Transform Your Life by Ken Robinson and Aronica. Finding Your Element by Ken Robinson and Aronica is a motivational guide that helps readers discover their passions and talents. The book offers practical exercises and real-life examples to inspire and guide individuals in their journey of self-discovery. It advocates for a more personalized approach to education and encourages readers to pursue their elements for a more fulfilling life. If you want to live a meaningful, happy life, you must live in your element. As the name of their book suggests, authors Ken Robinson and Aronica teach you exactly how to find your element. In this book summary of Finding Your Element, you'll explore who you are and what you're meant to do with your life by examining what you're good at, what you love to do, and how your attitude affects your life. The journey of life is easier and more fulfilling when you're in your element, so now is the time to find yours. Live a fulfilling life by being who you are meant to be and doing what you are meant to do. Introduction. Two young trout were swimming upstream one morning when an old catfish swam past them and called out, "How's the water?" One trout said to the other, "What is water?" The takeaway from this brief exchange is that the fish lived so deeply within their element, that is, water, that they took it for granted and didn't even recognize its presence. Finding your element is crucial if you want to understand who you are and what you should be doing with your life. But finding your element doesn't come easy. Our internal resources are similar to natural resources. They're buried deep beneath the surface so that you must mine for them. Finding your element will help you tap into these buried resources. This summary outlines Ken Robinson and Aronica's approach to understanding your natural aptitudes and recognizing your passions. This will feed your spiritual energy and increase your happiness, as well as create change. The quest for your element is a journey that's both inward, as you explore what's deep inside you, and outward, as you seek opportunity. This book will help you find your way through this journey. Finding your element. Ken Robinson is often asked what his element is and how he found it. Robinson's element is communicating and working with others, but this wasn't initially apparent to him. As a child from a boisterous and sociable family, he developed polio at a young age and was much quieter than his siblings. He spent a lot of time alone, solving puzzles, assembling models, and playing with Legos. When a brother asked Robinson to introduce a family comedy act at a gathering, he was terrified, but he found that he actually enjoyed the task, so he began acting in plays in high school. He soon discovered that he settled in quickly when speaking in front of others and felt completely relaxed. Naturally, an international public speaking career followed. Robinson had found his element. You can also find your element if you're willing to set off on the quest to find yourself. There are 3 core processes that will lead you to your element. Turn down the noise. The first step is to get to know yourself better, which requires you to turn down the noise of the external world, especially other people's opinions about you. Such noise causes you to lose sight of who you really are. To tune out this noise, create time and space to be alone. Meditation is very helpful for this. Change perspective. You will also need to change your perspective in a way that allows you to see yourself differently. You may believe that you have no aptitude or passions, but you're wrong. Don't let stories you tell yourself or ideas you've absorbed from others get in your way. You can reflect on your natural abilities and find your passions by engaging in mind mapping, assembling vision boards, and practicing automatic writing. Try new things. Finally, if you're to discover who you really are, you need to be bold and try things you've always wanted to do but never got around to. If something intrigues you, try it. Finding your element, like living life, is not a linear process. We're all unique, creative individuals, engaged in creating our own lives. This is an organic process, meaning you cannot predict your life. Life is largely improvisational, and we all encounter unexpected twists and turns. But you can make sure you're open to new experiences and possibilities as you make your way in the world. What are you good at? Robinson's brother, Derek, has always been great with engines. By the age of 10, he was taking motorcycles apart to study how they work and putting them back together so that they worked even better than before. Within a couple of years, he was working on cars, where he honed his ability to diagnose any engine problem and easily identify the solution. Derek has a natural aptitude for how things work. To be in your element is to live a life where your natural aptitudes, your raw potential, meet your passions. To locate your element, you must first identify your aptitudes. You most likely already know about some of them. Most of us learn early that we're naturally good at certain things, just as Derek did with motorcycles. Perhaps you love clothing and fashion, or maybe numbers come easily to you. Perhaps you adore animals and know how to make them feel comfortable. Other aptitudes may lie hidden because you've never had the opportunity to explore them. Make a list of things you do regularly and consider whether you are good, average, or not so good at them. Which activities come easily to you? Do the things you're good at have anything in common? What aptitudes do they represent? What sorts of roles and occupations rely on these aptitudes? If you're struggling to determine your aptitudes on your own, you can take an aptitude test, but keep in mind that some are better than others. Additionally, understand that you may have wrong assumptions about your aptitudes if you were originally introduced to something in the wrong way. Likewise, consider whether you might have a strong aptitude for something that you failed to explore because you were discouraged from doing so. It's hard for some of us to know what we're good at. Take a look at the aptitude list you drew up and reconsider those things you labeled as average or not so good. It's possible you have more aptitude in these areas than you realize. Many feel they don't have an aptitude for something because they didn't do well at it in school. They may be right, but they may be mistaken. Perhaps the blame for underperforming rests in how it was taught. Our educational system doesn't generally take students' individual learning styles into consideration when it comes to presenting material. We all learn differently, and learning styles profoundly affect whether we learn. In fact, we can fail to learn something that we have a great aptitude for simply because it's not presented in a way that our mind can unpack. Maybe you're truly bad at math. Or maybe you simply lost interest in it because it wasn't taught in a way that worked for you. If you want to make the most of your abilities, explore as many potential aptitudes as possible using your individual learning style. There are various learning style assessment tools out there that you can use, and many of them, such as VARK, can be found online. If you're to find your element, you can't assume that all your beliefs about yourself and what you're good at are accurate. If you're doubting your aptitude for something, question where that doubt came from. Attempt things you think you lack aptitude for by approaching them in new ways. What might you be good at given the opportunity to work it out for yourself? What have you avoided doing out of the fear that you might not do it well? What do you love? Being in your element isn't just about aptitude. Aptitude is a necessary component of finding your element, but you must also love what you're good at. Passion for a field or skill fires our imagination and stokes our positive energy. Randy Parsons was a very good guitar player, and his friends were convinced he would become a rock star. But after college, he left music behind and found a job in law enforcement. He was great at his job but felt incomplete. One day, a vision came to him. He saw himself building guitars for his rock music heroes. He spent the next 2 years teaching himself to make guitars, and today, his company Parsons Guitars has an international reputation. Not long before establishing his company, Parsons had no idea he had a passion for building guitars, but he quickly discovered his passion and the aptitude to match. Parsons believed that he loved playing the guitar, but it turned out that his deeper passion was in creating them. To discover your passions, take the list of things you're good at and label each as either something you enjoy, something you don't mind doing, or something you don't enjoy. This task helps you identify what brings you joy. Also, consider things you're not as good at because passion is more important than aptitude. Finding your element is a lot like falling in love. For some, like Parsons, it strikes suddenly. For others, it takes time. You may find yourself passionate about something that you've done for years but didn't recognize as a passion. No matter how you find it, passion sets you on a path and drives you forward. When you identify what inspires you, opportunities begin to appear. What makes you happy? Ask people what they really want, and most will say they want to be happy. Unfortunately, today, we're seeing rising levels of unhappiness. Perhaps this is because happiness is misunderstood. People think having more money, losing weight, or getting a different job will make them happy, but those things only temporarily lift the mood. Long-lasting happiness is a deeper sense of fulfillment that comes from having a purpose in life. Yasmin Helal is one individual who was able to discover this purpose for herself. Helal is an accomplished professional basketball player in Egypt who also worked as a biomedical engineer. She excelled in both professions. But her life changed one day when some street children asked her for money, an experience that inspired her to start an initiative that funded education for underprivileged children. The project eventually evolved into a non-governmental organization called the Talita Foundation. Running the foundation is hard work, but Helal thrives and persists because she feels that she's doing what she is meant to do. And it makes her happy. The feeling of being in your element is magnified when it feeds a greater purpose inside of you, and having a purpose in life is what leads to sustained happiness. As you try to find your element, pay attention to your emotions. What activity lifts your spirits every time you do it? What always brings you joy? While searching for your element, be mindful of the three main things that affect your level of happiness. Your circumstances, which many believe will make them happy, constitute only about 10% of your happiness. Your biological disposition, your inherited disposition, which is part of your biological makeup, accounts for up to 50% of how happy you are. This means that whether you're naturally disposed to cheer or to gloom is not something you can change. Your behavior is something you have the ability to change, and it affects up to 40% of your happiness. Engaging in work that gives your life meaning is a behavior that's the most effective route to happiness. What's your attitude? Attitude is important when it comes to finding your element. It's often your own mind that stands in between you and where you want to be. Consider the case of Sue Kent, a renowned massage therapist whose attitude catapulted her to success. Kent has her own practice in London and has worked on athletes for the British Paralympics team. But there were obstacles on the path to her dreams. Kent was born with severely underdeveloped arms and only 7 fingers, so she gives massages with her feet. Massage therapy school was challenging. It took her over a year to work out how to perform massages without the use of her arms, but she found a technique that worked for her. And the strength in her legs enables her to give firm massages, a desirable trait for a massage therapist. Kent possesses what research psychologist Carol Dweck would call a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset. Those with a fixed mindset believe that their intelligence and talents are fixed at birth and can't be changed. Those with a growth mindset, on the other hand, believe that one's aptitudes and possibilities are developed through effort. Like Kent, you may have to push your boundaries and be open to all possibilities if you're to find and thrive within your element. Attitude affects everything, and how you respond to the world will deeply affect how the world responds to you. Where are you now? We all start on the road to living in our element from a different place, and we can't know where we're going if we don't know where we currently are. One way of determining your current situation is to use the SWOT analysis. Draw a large square box and divide it into 4 equal parts. Label the top left box strengths, the top right box weaknesses, the bottom left box opportunities, and the bottom right box threats. The top boxes deal with internal qualities, the bottom 2 are comprised of external influences. List your strengths and weaknesses in their respective boxes, starting with your aptitudes, followed by your passions and attitudes. Then, fill out the lower 2 boxes. Consider your basic situation as revealed in the boxes. What obstacles do you face? What is keeping you from doing what you truly want to do, and what would happen if you cleared those obstacles? What resources are available to you that will help you do so? Gaining perspective regarding where you are now is a critical part of getting where you want to be, and deep soul searching can lead to a willingness to embrace opportunity. A change in direction is always possible. If you move toward your passions, opportunities will appear out of nowhere, and it's up to you to embrace them. Think about how you want to move forward. Do you want to dive headfirst into a new life or just dip your toe into the water? Can you start your journey where you live now, or do you need to move across the country? To what extent can you plan for obstacles that may arise? Where's your tribe? A big part of being in your element is surrounding yourself with the right people by finding your tribe. There are many who share your passions, and you should try to connect with these individuals, as they can offer affirmation, guidance, collaboration, and inspiration. Imagine your tribe. Picture those who are members of it and how they live. It can help to make a vision board of people and communities that you associate with your element or passion. What does membership in that community look like? Finding and associating with your tribe can be a powerful validation of your passion and bolster your commitment to your goals, especially when you face obstacles. You may even need to travel to find your tribe. For example, if you're passionate about the film industry, you may need to move to Hollywood. If you love organic farming, a large city may not be the place for you to find fellow travelers. Some practical suggestions for locating your tribe include using the internet to locate forums, organizations, online courses, and mentors. In addition, you can visit clubs, associations, or meetups, attend courses and workshops, volunteer, or find a life coach or mentor. Know that finding your tribe isn't typically a linear process, and it takes considerable time and effort to accomplish. What's next? The next step is to follow your spirit. Look inward to your innermost self and discern where your spirit is leading you. If your spirit feels heavy, that's a good sign that you're not in your element. Perhaps you're still sorting through your thoughts and feelings while looking for possibilities. To facilitate this process, review the work you've done thus far. On a large sheet of paper, draw 4 big circles and label them aptitudes, passions, attitudes, and opportunities. In each circle, write several practical statements that express actions you can take to deepen your understanding of yourself in that area. Then, take the top priority from each circle to create a list of 4 priorities. This list is your action plan. Of course, there are risks associated with moving from where you are now to where you believe you want to be, but it will be worth it to take the steps necessary to build a new and fulfilling life. Conclusion. One of the great gifts that humans possess is the ability to transform our own lives. As you've discovered, your resources are numerous. This means that you're limited more by your own imagination than by your circumstances. Determine where it is you want to go and take those first steps, bearing in mind the common end-of-life regrets of wishing you'd been true to yourself, working too hard, losing touch with friends and family, not embracing happiness, failing to honor your dreams, and not creating enough time and space for living a good life. Recognize your dreams now and take the steps to fulfill them. If you're to live a truly fulfilling life, you must find and live in your element. Finding your element requires a deep digging and probing examination of your aptitudes, passions, and attitudes. If you put in the necessary work, you'll discover who you truly are, and feel confident setting out on the path toward doing what you were always meant to do. Your life is uniquely created by you, and it evolves organically, not in a linear fashion. Keep this principle in mind and get ready to begin planning the next steps of your life. Review. Finding Your Element, How to Discover Your Talents and Passions and Transform Your Life by Sir Ken Robinson and Lou Aronica is a motivational and insightful book that aims to help individuals identify their true passions and talents and, in doing so, lead a more fulfilling and purposeful life. The book serves as a natural extension of Robinson's previous work, particularly his popular book The Element, and offers practical guidance on how to uncover one's potential. The book is structured into several sections, with each section delving into a different aspect of personal development and self-discovery. Robinson and Aronica emphasize the importance of finding one's element, a place where a person's natural talents and passions intersect. They argue that by discovering and nurturing this intersection, individuals can experience a sense of purpose and greater happiness in their lives. The authors provide numerous real-life examples of individuals who have found their element and transformed their lives as a result. These stories range from people in various professions, from education and the arts to business and sports. By sharing these stories, the book illustrates that the concept of the element is applicable to people from all walks of life. Robinson and Aronica offer a variety of practical exercises and strategies to help readers identify their own elements. They discuss the significance of self-awareness, curiosity, and lifelong learning in this process. The authors argue that our education systems often stifle individual creativity and curiosity, and they advocate for a more personalized and flexible approach to education. Finding Your Element is a well-crafted and inspirational book that encourages readers to embark on a journey of self-discovery. It builds upon the ideas presented in The Element and provides more concrete guidance on how to apply these concepts to one's life. Here are some key points in the book's favor. Engaging narrative. The book is enriched with engaging anecdotes and case studies, which make the concepts relatable and inspiring. The personal stories of people who have discovered their elements are a highlight of the book. Practical exercises. Robinson and Aronica provide practical exercises and self-assessment tools that encourage readers to reflect on their own passions, strengths, and interests. These exercises guide readers towards self-discovery. Education reform. The authors advocate for a more holistic and individualized approach to education, critiquing the traditional system's limitations in nurturing creativity and personal development. Encouragement and positivity. The overall tone of the book is positive and encouraging, emphasizing that it's never too late to find one's element and transform one's life. On the flip side, some readers might find that the book is a bit repetitive, especially if they are already familiar with Robinson's work. Additionally, while the book's message is uplifting, it may not provide a step-by-step blueprint for everyone to find their element, as the process can be highly personal and variable from person to person. In conclusion, Finding Your Element is a valuable read for those seeking to discover their true passions and talents, or for anyone interested in personal development and education reform. While it doesn't offer a one-size-fits-all solution, it does provide a compelling and motivational framework for the journey of self-discovery and transformation. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. See you in next videos.